Hello, I'm Alex Hare, and I welcome you to Australian Archives, a program of musical items featuring Australian artists of note and taken from the archives. And commencing this edition of Australian Archives, it's Peter Dawson, recording in London for the HMV label, and the tune, Whaling Up the Lachlan.
The billy's boiling low. We'll fill our pipes and yarn there and watch the world roll by. Whaling up the Lachlan, whaling up the Lachlan, under a starry sky. And yarn there and watch the wood roll by. Whaling up the Lachlan River, under a starry sky.
When I walk through a jam, no one knows who I am. Put your head on my chest, and I'm Mr. Success. Never close me a deal. All at once I'm a wheel. Just your head on my chest, and I'm Mr. Success. Once knew a worrying man, he was a hurrying man, with never a second to play. He had appointments to keep, lots of people to meet, and it took 30 hours to make him a day. Not for me, not what I want to be. Just your head on my chest, and I'm Mr. Success. was a hurrying man with never a second to play. He had appointments to keep, lots of people to meet, and it took 30 hours to make him a day. Not for me, not what I want to be. Just your head on my chest, and I'm Mr. Success. But with you, pretty baby, sitting by my side, I couldn't be a failure even if I tried, 'cause you make me Mr. Success.
That's our very own Bob Horsfall there in 1958, using the old Kingsley cardboard records to record Mr. Success. Tom Davidson led the orchestra, and a nice bright one. I hope you enjoyed that. And the program commenced with a London 1938 recording of Peter Dawson singing Whalin' Up the Lachlan, and he wrote that particular piece using the pseudonym J.P. McColl. Now to Barry O'Dowd from the 1960s, and Barry's a barra boy.
All my life I've wandered round the streets of London town, surrounded by the brick and by the mortar. I used to know a geezer by the name of Smoky Joe, a coster, you should know. All my life I've wanted to be a barra boy I've always wanted to be. I wheels the barrow, I pushes it with pride. I'm a coster from over the other side. I turns my back on all the high society. Take me where the ripe bananas grow. I sell 'em a dozen a shilling, that's how I make my living. I ought to been a barra boy years ago. I've wanted to be a barra boy I've always wanted to be. I wheels me barra, I pushes it with pride. I'm a coster from over the other side. I turns me back on all the high society. Take me where the ripe bananas grow. I flogs 'em a dozen a shilling, that's how I makes me living. I ought to been a barra boy years ago. Get off me barra! I ought to been a barra boy years ago.
Those happy feet, give them the low down beat and they begin dancing. I've got those 10 little tapping toes, and when they hear a tune I can't control my dancing heels to save my soul. Weary blues can't get into my shoes because my shoes refuse to ever grow weary. I keep cheerful on an earful of music sweet, 'cause I've got happy feet.
The rhythm girl Des Tooley there, recording in June of 1930 for the Parlophone label up in Sydney. And the hot piano, of course, was from the very talented Beryl Newell. She accompanied many, many performers in those Sydney studios around that time. Happy Feet was the piece, Des Tooley. And prior to that, from 1960, it was Barry O'Dowd and A Barra Boy.
Reg Gray, Pam Corrigan and the singing group with Bob Gibson's band combine in a special arrangement of one of the newest of the new hits, September Song.
And the days grow short when you reach September,
and the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame, and I haven't got time for the
the days dwindle down to a precious few. September, November,
and these few precious days I'd spend with you. Golden days I'd spend with you. September
Everyone can help to save the nation. Everyone can help to win the war. There's no time for resting. Let's begin investing in the things our country's fighting for. Everybody, every payday, buy a bond the Aussie way, say. That's a job that's up to you and me. Butcher, baker, banker, scholar, save above from every dollar. Everyone must work for victory. Everybody, every payday, every farmer, every heyday, empty out your pockets for the loan. Do your share, see you spare a bit from every pay in the good old Australian way. Everybody, every payday, buy a bond the Aussie way, say, that's the job that's up to you and me. Butcher, baker, banker, scholar, save a bob from every dollar. Everyone must work for victory. Everybody, every payday, every farmer, every heyday, empty out your pockets for the Lord. Do your share, see you spare a bit from every pay in the good old Australian way.
Johnny McMahon with the Parker Sisters, Bob Gibson and his orchestra, and a Columbia Process recording made in 1943 as a fundraising thing for the Second World War. Everybody, every payday, put some money away the Aussie way, indeed. And before that, it was a wonderful recording of September Song from the 1948 or a 1948 Shell Show. It was introduced by Walter Pym, featuring the Bob Gibson Orchestra with Reg Gray and Pam Corrigan, and very nice it was too. Now from a 1960s Sound of Music, Bobby Lim's Sound of Music, remember it? Here's Rosalind Keane and Bill Newman in duet, and The Keys of Heaven. Very nice indeed. Rosalind Keane and Bill Newman from the Sound of Music television show, The Keys of Heaven. And we wind up this edition of Australian Archives with William Flynn's 3DB Orchestra and a selection from the Song a Minute series. And I think you'll enjoy this. It comes from the 1950s. Here it is.
There she goes, on her toes, all dressed up in her Sunday clothes, my best girl. Just like sweet Rosie O'Grady, she's just a sweet little lady. Calls me up now and then, calls me down only when I'm too smart. Since we've been acquainted, the church is newly painted. I guess the preacher was wise from the start. What a pal, what a gal, just as sweet as frivolous Sal, my best girl.
Back home in Tennessee, just try to picture me, right on my mother's knee. She thinks the world of me, all I can when I get back to my home in Tennessee. Charlie, my boy, oh, Charlie, my boy, you thrill me, you chill me with shivers of joy. You've got that kind of sort of bit of a way that makes me, takes me, tell me, what can I say? And when we dance, I read in your glance whole pages and ages of love and romance. They tell me Romeo was some lover too, but boy, he could have taken lessons from you. You seem to start where others get through. Oh, Charlie, my boy, when I pretend I'm gay, I never feel that way. I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. When I hold back a tear to make a smile appear, I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. Painting the blues, beautiful hues, colored with gold and old rose, playing the clouds, trying to drown all my woes. Those things made up of pride, they all turn out alright if I keep painting the clouds with sunshine.
Pack up all my cares and woe, here I go, singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird, where somebody waits for me. Sugar's sweet and so is she. Bye, bye, blackbird, no one here can love and understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. So make my bed and light the light, I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, bye-bye.
Who's sorry now? Who's sorry now? Whose heart is aching for breaking each vow? Who's sad and blue? Who's lonely too? Just as I cried over you, right to the end, just like a friend, I tried to warn you somehow. You had your way, now you must pay. I'm glad that you're sorry now.
William Flynn conducting Laurie Wilson there with the vocalists. Charlie Blott was on drums, vocalist Pam Corrigan, Geoff Brooke, Frankie Davidson, June Hamilton and Margaret Becker, and a selection from the series William Flynn's A Song a Minute, closing this edition of the program. Australian Archives was conceived, prepared and produced by Alex Hare for Golden Days Radio. Thanks for listening and bye for now.